Hey, what's up, folks? It's Jeff. This week with JTT, live from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It's Saturday night. I almost said, hold on, check your email. Hold on a sec. Check your email, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, hold on a sec, folks. Gotta check my email because now this thing's giving me a headache. Gotta try to, there we go. I'm not gonna say what the code is, but I just say it's a headache because I get you want to be secure and all that stuff, but you guys are still a pain in the neck. Okay, okay. Finally, okay. Like about 36 behind. Shocker, shocker. So, how's everybody doing today? It's April 13th, and we had a little bit of, we had some hail about 1 2 weeks ago. Kind of crazy. I live work in an area where there's a metal roof, so imagine like you got hail coming in real fast, landing on a metal roof makes for a very intimidating sound. That's one. And one moment it's like real warm, thinking like, hey, spring is finally coming. Then temperatures drop like in the 30s and all that. Not where it's like, like, oh my goodness, break out the thermals again. But fortunately, the weather ain't getting that bad. Today, the weather is like mostly foggy. I was getting Stephen King vibes here. But I want to start with a monologue. But and the monologue is the subject of this monologue, believe it or not, is forgiveness. I'm dead serious. Forgiveness. I seen something to make me look at myself real hard as a born again Christian. In fact, music I find it though because I still going like wow and all that, and still kind of like it humbles me, make me feel ashamed because let's just there's people that can is not afraid to say like that that I am forgiving. You got some people say yeah I'm forgiving, but the question is, are you truly forgiving? Like for example, is someone if a friend or relative maybe forget to pay you, like say $5 10, that's okay, forgivable. That's not hard to do. Forgiving friends and relatives, even when things get heated, it's easy to forgive. By comparison, it's easy to forgive. To forget your friends and relatives, yeah, there be times like brothers, sisters have beef, friends have beef. Is it impossible to forgive? No, it's not. But there are people who will want to do you wrong and do you harm. How can you forgive them? How? I'll show you the best example. Um, I forgot the gentleman's name, but his brother was killed by this policewoman. This is during a time when the riots were taking place after George Floyd died in police custody, and the world was going crazy back then. This woman was worked, I think, from a 12, 14 hour shift. Went to this guy's brother's house by mistake, thinking she's going to her place, end up shooting, killing the dude, and all the guy would have was ice cream. Now you think this guy's brother would be full of rage and hate and vitriol? Well, I'm not gonna try to describe this man. I'm not. That'd be insulting. The best I can do is show you. I mean, seeing is believing. Then I'll try to explain afterwards though. But you gotta see this. Cause even I'm going like, wow. I know you're going like, Jeff, the quiet is awkward. I know, no kidding. Here we go. Sorry for the hold up.
Was shot to death by a Dallas police officer. He chose to speak, and when you live your faith and you choose to speak about it, that can often feel a little scary.
I forgive you. I know if you go to God and ask Him, He will forgive you. But I love you just like anyone else. And I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you. I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you. And the best would be give your life to Christ. Again, I love you as a person. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please? Oh, now, tell me now, tell me now, tell me now, you.
That was deep. That was deep. You're going like, Jeff, what's the point on this? A majority of you, I say 90 to 99%, say like, this guy's a fool, he's an idiot, and he's stupid for being forgiven to a woman who killed his brother. The fact that this man opened up his heart, his soul, and spirit to this, not just to this woman, but for the whole world to see, he is truly forgiving of this woman who killed his brother. It has been written by God in Christ. Make sure we know it. Love each other, like, love one another, take care of each other. Even love our enemies. Yes, you heard what I said. Read it. It's in the Bible. Love thy enemies. And it is a hard thing to do. The moment you hear the words, love thy enemy, they're not going to read that. Why should I love my enemy? Because God instructed you. And why is that? I'll tell you exactly why you should forgive your enemy. There are people in the world who will do you harm physically, mentally, emotionally. Pray for them. I know it's hard. Believe me, I'm not going to pretend that it's easy. It's not easy. Praying for somebody who did you dirty, praying for somebody who bring you harm in several levels, it's hard. This is where prayer comes in. This you got turn your heart over to God, turn your spirit over to God, turn your soul over to God, and pray like crazy, like, please have your son Jesus change my heart, change my soul, change my spirit. Because it is hard. I cannot do it alone. I see myself praying and praying. I have to. And don't get me wrong, I have been letting go people who done me harm, who done me wrong. I have. Am I done yet? Never close. I can look back at myself and peel back a few layers deeper within myself. I see a lot of people who done me wrong, who caused me harm within my very being. And I'm thinking like, I got a lot of work to do, but I got, lean on God so much because I can't do this alone. But the reason why I say that, we should forgive people who did us harm, I'll tell you exactly why. I want you to think back. And mind you, this is like Easter's coming up soon. I want you to think about this. When Jesus was on the cross, about to give up his ghost, one of the few final words he said to God, he said, please forgive them, for they do not know for what they're doing. Jesus is begging our Heavenly Father for forgiveness for what we're doing to Jesus. He didn't ask for the angels to come down and smite the Roman army. He didn't ask the angels to come down and smite the Roman Empire. Jesus could have, but it will not serve God's purpose. Jesus was the perfect sacrifice for all time, for all mankind. And when I see that video about the man showing so much love, compassion, forgiveness to his woman, it hits different. I'm trying very hard to keep it together because I been through a lot, suffered a lot, and I kind of looked at myself. I kind of surprised that I somewhat see myself as a bit like a powder keg ready to blow up. And all I've been doing is diffusing my rage more and more. But the funny thing is, I look back now, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I think my temper was a lot more explosive, a lot more crazier. I say about 30 years ago, I was like, way worse. People think, like, yeah, Jeff, you're bonkers. Oh, that's nothing. You should have saw me over 30 years ago. That's nothing. Like I simply say, I mellow out a lot. Thank the Heavenly Father I did, but I got ways to go. I can't truly call myself a Christian unless I start letting go a lot of the pain, a lot of the anger that allowed it to chain me down. I want to have the ability when my time is up, but I can look to God and say, like, yes, whatever, like, anger, rage, resentment I have towards people who done me wrong, I truly let go. I want no chains of anger, pain, resentment on me. Funny thing is not just that man who displayed incredible strength. I describe that as Christ-like strength. Meaning, for me personally, if you have that type of strength to, forgive somebody who did something that horrible, it's easy. Like I said, it's easy for, to forgive friends and family, but forgive a person, a stranger, for doing something harmful to you, there's no way you can use it on your own. That's God's handiwork, and that's Christ-like strength. And like I said, it hits different. It really does hit different. So, like I said, I got to try to do more prayers for myself. I will get to a point where I'm going to come up here live. And like I said, I'm not going to come here one time and say, okay, whatever anger, rage, beef, or resentment I have towards people, I'm going to say it once and that's it. No, that'd be dumb. Well, I can't say to you folks right now that I'm going to try very hard with them, like whatever, like anger, pain, resentment I have, let it go. It's not worth keeping. If you think about it, though, why you keep this anger? Why you keep this hatred? Why you keep this rage? Why? Somebody once said, though, hanging on to the anger, hanging on to resentment, hanging on to bitterness is like drinking poison, but especially enemies to die. It don't work like that. Pray to God for Jesus Christ to reach your heart, reach your spirit, reach your soul, and change that. Whatever, like, anger and rage you have deep within you, whatever, like, darkness you have within your very soul, you have God reach in and take it out. You're not meant to have darkness within your being. You're meant to radiate light, so you can be a light to others who need it most. And I feel sad for that man not because he's wrong. He's not. I feel sad because, like, a majority of people, over 90 to 99% of people, they're gonna think he's wrong, he's dumb. No, he's not dumb, he's not wrong. He is so right. You know what I say? When it's time to face God, that young man, he's gonna be reunited with his brother. God's gonna look, especially Jesus gonna look at him, he's gonna look, smile, probably give him the biggest hug in the world because he deserved it. He proved beyond shadow of doubt that in doing so that he didn't forsake Jesus. He didn't. I gotta like it a little bit. There's another story that I heard, broke my heart. I think it's in Egypt, I think. Some religious fanatics got a hold of some Egyptian Christians and beheaded them. I forgot how many, 7 or more. Well, unfortunately, some religious fanatics, I'm not sure it's from Hamas, ISIS, I don't know, but they got a hold of 7 Egyptian Christians and beheaded them. But before they got executed, I think one or all I'm saying, like, Jesus, please have mercy on my soul. Not one of them has forsaken Christ. Not one. Their wives, friends, and relatives was saddened by the death of their loved ones, but they were very joyful that not one of them has forsaken Christ. Yes, their lives have been taken, but they never forsake Christ, and Christ will remember them. Christ pretty much just grabbed and hugged every single one of them the moment they met him. That must have filled Jesus' heart with so much joy. I know it sounds like I'm preaching and all that, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm the last person to be a preacher because I'm not qualified to be a preacher. Yes, I'm a deacon in my church, but I'm not a preacher. I don't have, I'm so not qualified to be a preacher. I'm not. What I can share is something that is important that I seen, I witnessed, and I want to emulate that person. You got other men want to emulate this tough dude. Yeah, I want to be this guy who beats up 10, 15 guys in a bar and live and talk about it. Yeah, I want to be this guy who goes to war, and while a majority of the guys got killed, I came back alive. I don't want to be those guys. I will be that man who forgave the person who killed his brother, who showed that much compassion, that much love. That's the type of strength that many people won't even think about touching. And that's my monologue for now. That's my monologue for now. Whew, got a little deep there. So where do we begin? Well, we're gonna start off with the comments. Because some of the comments are pretty interesting though, and I'm not gonna lie, I get a kick out of them every time I look at them. So let's start off with the comments. Trying to find some really good ones here. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna find this one. That'll be right over here. I didn't find too many. I'll talk about poking the Gen X bear, and they're two very not that big a deal. But overall, I'm laughing about is that one kid, this one young girl named Sad Millennial. I think I talked about that last week, the other week, how she's complaining how she went after Metallica and Megadeth. I'm going of all people you go after, you go after these two. That's the Gen X crowd loved them and all that. They love them very much. And the fact you go after them, not my move. They call not Gen X. You don't do that. You just don't do that. That's just insane. But that's what you did. So if I have any interesting comments that I want to talk about. Let's see, and another one I found is called it's more like a short of questions. Are you single by choice? Like a vote for men and women. One of the comments said, I'm a man and I'm actually single by choice, meaning that, yeah, right now, high teen blame a man for being single. Yeah, male loneliness is a real thing, but here's a choice. You could be lonely by choice, but yet believing that you have your peace, still be about your friends, family, and God, or be with somebody who makes you want to, or start screaming, God, what have I done to deserve this? Simple as that. Trying to find some really interesting pieces. Oh, these are the shorts here. Let me go to the actual videos. Because some of the videos I found has a very interesting questions or interesting comments. Hold it. Oh yeah, hold on. I think I found what I'm looking for. One of the videos I talk about in terms of comments talks about ex-wife upset that her ex-husband is thriving. It's kind of funny though. It's like these. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. A majority of divorce are initiated by, guess what? Women. And don't say, oh, it's 50-50. No, it's not. Stop the cap. It's more than 50%. A majority of them is by women. Why? Because they're unhappy. I'm unhappy. I don't like how things are going. I said before, I say it again, look at the vows. I mean, how many times we got to say it? There's a reason why they say it. If you can't take the vows seriously, don't get married. And while I'm at it, don't get involved in relationships. It's that simple. Now, here's some of the comments are here. One person says, wow, the compassion on display here is awesome. That young lady is cold. We have no idea if there was mental cruelty or infidelity involved. Nobody wants to see a jerk thrive. That's true. Now, here's the thing, though. If the woman states the guy was a total jerk and what have you not, and know what the guy was abusive towards her, like physically or what have you not, if the guy had an addiction he don't want to handle, like say drugs and alcohol, or if the guy's a cheater or the guy was never around, just abandon her, then I get it. Yes, divorce him. Please divorce him. It was something like, oh, I just don't feel happy. Well, you got married in the first place. That's all I'm going to say. Next one. This one says, lucky guy, I got divorced and was dragged through the system for 15 years. That sounds like a jail sentence. As it says here, I've been dragged through the system for 15 years until she completely drained me of everything. And the court as they helped her do it. Oh, that's great. So basically, the man pretty much got the brakes beaten off him legally with the help of his ex-wife, state, and the court. And yet, they wonder why guys are not so quick to get married. My buddy came home after his divorce, and oh my goodness, yup. Like I said, this one says here, my buddy came home after his divorce and ended his life that day. What a fair and equitable system we have here. A prison sentence would have been more humane. That is terrifying. I mean, dragged through the system for 15 years, that itself was a prison sentence. 15 years? What the woman tried to get for the guy, but she got dragged him in that for 15 years. And she took everything with the help of the court and the state. Am I surprised the guy took his life? Sadly enough, no. I put it this way: the one of the causes of suicide for men is breakup in a relationship, especially marriage. It's bad if you experience a breakup turns in a regular relationship, that's gonna hurt bad. And towards the end, that's gonna hurt. Okay, let me slow down because I'm going too quick because been there, done that, survived it. And believe me, it's hard. It is like painfully hard. I'll put it like this. If your girlfriend broke up with you, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna take a while to get over, especially if you really, really loved her. In terms of engagement, that's gonna hurt even worse. You have a wedding plan, you got your life plan, that's gonna hurt worse. That's gonna mess you up. But if you was in a marriage and she decides to divorce you and take you for everything you got, I mean everything, and God forbid there's kids involved. And I know you women gonna say, what he did her wrong, whatever. I'll put it like this: if the man was abusive to her in every way, shape, or form, so it's one thing like get counseling on it, but the guy's abusive and show no signs of stopping, divorce him. If the man had an addiction, drugs, alcohol, what have you, but it's harming the relationship, harming the marriage, divorce him. If the man was a serial cheater, unfaithful, can't stop cheating, divorce him. If the guy just abandoned you, divorce him. By all means. If it's some kind of, I'm bored, I'm not happy, I'm missing out, FOMO. And it's kind of funny when these women, same women who cries about that, goes into the streets and let these Giga Chads, Pookies, Ray Rays, Chads, Tyrells run through them like a track meet in the Olympics, they realize the grass is not green on the other side. Some cases, they got never try to go back to the ex. That's a joke. That's a very sick, twisted joke. But unfortunately, in a situation like this, it's not unusual if a man gets dragged through court after a long, harsh marriage. The only thing that left is to take themselves out of the census. Or take themselves, period, take themselves out. I try to say about having guidelines look at me hard. Basically, after being dragged through like for 15 years, like this man was, I'm not surprised he takes himself off the census. I'm not surprised. Not one bit. Not one bit at all. And it's sad. Men are way more likely to Men are way more likely, they're 4 times more likely to take themselves off the census than women. And women say, like, oh, women commit suicide too. No kidding. But guess what? Women get way more support than men. That too, we hear like, walk it off. Shocker. There's another one here in the comments. Same subject. Ex-wife upset that her ex-husband is thriving. It's not enough for a woman to be happy with a divorce because she has to see her ex-husband desperately unhappy. I repeat, this is what it says right here. Under ex-wife upset that her ex-husband is thriving, one of the people who's in the comments says this. It's not enough for a woman to be happy with a divorce. She has to see her ex desperately unhappy. So, okay, you want a divorce, you want to go your own way, cool. Why do you want to see your ex, crash and burn? Why do you want to see him suffer? Why do you want to see him unhappy? What, you gatekeeping happiness? Are you kidding me? Goes on to say, this is, hold on a sec here, so you can hear me better. Here. This is because if he's not devastated about not having her, it's a blow to her self-esteem. It says she wasn't as important as she thought. I repeat, let me read this again. This is because if he's not devastated about not having her, it's a blow to her self-esteem. It said that she wasn't as important as she thought. She was hoping, like, if she divorced him, he'd fall apart without her. Wrong. I don't even wrong. Unfortunately, some men do fall apart to the point where they self-destruct. They take themselves out. Now, here's the thing. Anybody, man or woman, who get this power, this flex, think like, I'll cause him or her to go take themselves off the census. God help. May God have mercy on your soul. If you are flexing and feel happy, like, I'll cause this person to take themselves out permanently, may Lord have mercy on your soul, because that's the most low, foul thing you could do. Wishing death for the person, they'd be that unhappy, that is beyond wrong. Goes on to say, many women are encouraged to leave a marriage and find self-love or other things they didn't know existed by women who have divorced their husbands. The problem is that many of them regretted it and find themselves having to put on a false front to cover the truth. So they encourage others to join their misery. Misery loves company. Hashtag. Hold on a second. There's no one here. I'll probably read 1, 2 more after that, and that's it. That reminds me of my ex. Seems pissed off at me that my life stayed pretty good while hers is falling apart in the last 10 years. So basically, like, yeah, he been for some stuff after the divorce, but once he get himself back together, he strived forward. He didn't stagnate and suffer. He's like, okay, mourn, grieve it, mourn the loss of the relationship and all that, and grieve the death of the relationship. Next thing you know, build your life back up again. It goes on to say, and she actually tried to blame me for it. Let me get this straight. She probably initial divorce, her life sucked, his thrive, and she blames him for her failures? Nope. You want no part of him. You want to do things your way, no matter what. He said, okay, fine. When you do things your way and you fail, you blame him? Nope. You want to do things your way? That means that onus falls on you. And it says here before, she actually tried to blame me for it. What I did, no, let me say I read this correctly though. What I did say, yes, when we were together, we screwed up. But after you walked away from each other, all the choices you made, okay, does it make sense? After we walked away from each other, all the choices you made were your doing. Okay, You're the one who dated the abusive boyfriends and want to be drug dealers. Oh, nice. So basically, she dated the bad boys. Abusive boyfriends want to be drug dealers. Let them live in your mom's house rent free. Oh, hold on. Oh, this got good here. Yep. I love when I click on more. More stuff pop out. Rent free and destroy half of it over the years. The main reason she dated these guys because they had a car and were willing to drive her places. It got to the point where she got kicked out of her house and was technically homeless, and her boyfriend at the time got pregnant. She went crying back to her mom, asking to move back because she's pregnant, and her mom let her. Now she's a single mom because the baby daddy left after 6 months. So basically, the ex-wife thinks she can do better than her husband and all. And she thinks she's going to go with these pookies, all these dudes, all these super hot dudes, these giga chads. And ladies, can I tell you something? I said it before, I say it again. The top tier guys, the top 30 to the top 10 to the top 1% dudes, they got way more options than you think. You think like you have all the options? No, you don't. So right now you're looking down on the bottom 80% of the guys laughing, but the top 20% of the guys looking down at you and laughing even harder. Why? Because, like, say you get tired of their nonsense and walk away. Guess what? For every one of you women that walks away, there's going to be 10 or 20 or more women ready to replace you in a heartbeat. It's going to be so bad that there's some women who would rather be a side chick than a wife. If I could go on, there are women who like to be a wife, but when it comes time to actually be one, hated it. So where did they learn that from? Something to think about. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. Let's see, anything else? Like I said, every time you very across some comments, make it like, wow, I like these comments. These things are deep. I mean, these things are really, really, really deep. Oh yeah. And then we'll talk about how another Swiftie killed a marriage. If I'm correct, this one woman, she's with her husband. Supposedly he was a Taylor Swift fan and all that. I think they went to one of her concerts and his buddy stopped booing. He stopped booing. And because of that, she divorced him. How do we know? She had the divorce papers on social media. I'm thinking, wow. And these women can be like, why are men becoming conservative? Oh, don't worry. I didn't forget about that. I got some words about that. I still got pick up the woke movies we're gonna talk about. There's some woke movies that even I got surprised to become successful, and other woke movies that crash and burn. Classic example, Snow White. Everybody try to make like, oh, it's gonna be as big as Barbie. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not even remotely close. Don't even try to front. Don't even try to front. You know, it's not gonna be nowhere near Barbie. I promise you, the Snow White movie is like a disaster. I mean, like, it's like I say, to say it's a disaster is being polite about it. It really is. Let's see. You check out the Snow White box office. Because it gets to the point where other movies that you think is going to be, gotta have a hard time. Okay, here we go. 12 days, no. That game, man. Try to find the right one. Okay, this is what it says right here. The box office performance of Snow White in 2025, which is this year, has shown a domestic opening of approximately 42.2 million and a global total of 86 million. However, the film experienced a significant decline in its second week, dropping from its initial 42 million debut overall. It opened with about 40 $3 million its first weekend. So basically, the movie sucked. I mean, like, the sad part, the movie could be Oscar worthy, but the way that hold on a sec. Oh wow, okay. Box Office Mojo. I'm copying this here. Hold on, heck here. Hold on. Okay, copy this. So you guys can look at it later on. Paste that and boom. See what pop up? Yep. Yep. This one says here, Princess joined forces with 7 dwarves and a group of rebels to liberate her kingdom from the cruel stepmother, the evil queen. So it's like Snow White joins up with Robin Hood. I want you to say this, that if you're gonna do like a team up, okay, Snow White beats Robin Hood. Okay, cool. There's romance, but what about Maid Mary? But that's beside the point. Says here, like domestic. Right now, today, it's $79,822,000. No, $822,880. International, $91,316,793. Worldwide, which would be that'd be a combination of domestic and international, $171,139,673. Now, here's the problem with it. Some say that the budget for this movie is $275 million. No, it's not $270 million because they got to do rewrites and all that stuff and remarket, repackage the whole thing. Because they're trying to get rid of 7 dwarves altogether and replace with 7 magical people. And during a test screening, people said no. They said out and out no. They pretty much tried to gut the most beautiful and time-endeared classic of all time. A classic that endured the test of time for almost a century, gut it, and remake it in its old woke image. It didn't work. It didn't work. Not one time. No. But I'm not gonna go too much on. I promise myself to stay off this, but I'm just looking saying like that's all it makes, over $171 million. Someone says it's gotta make at least $500 million just to break even. If it goes like a live stream of the video, will you think it make enough? Tell me your thoughts on that down below. Okay, let me just get rid of this. But enough of this ridiculous stuff here about talk about celebrities. I'm gonna talk about another celebrity pretty briefly. That'd be P. Diddy. Now, people think like because Tony Buzzard had been supposedly kicked up the case or barred from the case, something like that, some foolishness like that. They think like, well, P. Diddy's going to beat the rap. Wrong. There's an attorney by the name of Damian Williams. Yes, he's a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. Yeah. He's the one that you don't want on your bad side. He's not the one you want on your bad side. And tell you right now, Diddy, tell you right now, yeah, you don't want him on your case. That's one. And like I said before, why make you think that Buzzard is the only lawyer gunning for Diddy? You got Damian Williams, and Lord knows how many other lawyers as well. Lawyers, but we have yet to hear. If I'm correct, the case involving Diddy Combs, does it the sex trafficking and other charges, that will be known until like the 12th of next month. And Lord knows how many other lawyers, how many other attorneys may be involved. We don't know. And in terms of allegations, it doesn't be like it will involve hundreds, if not possibly tens of thousands of people. This man done a lot of harm for a lot of people for a long time. And on top of everything else, he made a lot of enemies. He made a lot of enemies. You think you gotta take this line down? No. The first opportunity they take, in terms legal wise, they're gonna bury him. Let's just say if Diddy Combs, gets about 10 to 20 years, I won't be shocked. Period. And that should be it for the celebrity. So you got comments, celebrities. So what is last? Oh yeah. This is where I get to have my fun. What I'm talking about? Well, there's a new Superman. Yes, there's a new Superman. His name is he's the one playing Clark Kent Superman. His name is David Cora Sweat. And often enough, I can't say he's gonna suck us. I have to see the whole film. I gotta see it from start to finish before I make any opinion. Some people, the trailer could be the deciding factor. Are you sure about that? The trailer could suck. The trailer could suck eggs, and the movie could be Oscar worthy. That's why it's hard to say, you can't depend on the trailer alone. The trailer could suck eggs, but the movie overall could be fantastic. So it's hard to say that. But before we go there, let's see if I can find what I think I can find. I want to show you some stuff about here we go. So, for example, one of the things that can tell you how good the movie's gonna go is how Superman flies. Well, not how Superman flies, how well does he fly? Is he gonna be able to? Does he fly? Well, overall, if his ability to fly looks good to us, it'd be like it's gonna be awesome. So, but we'll start with old school. What I mean by old school? I talk about old school in terms of the late, great Christopher Reeve. That was Richard Pryor, by the way. It was in the last Superman movie. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best. I'm sorry, but in terms of the Superman movie, the first one was the best with Christopher Reeve. The other two was but the first one, yes. Especially the flight sequence, that was incredible. Yes. And just so you know, folks, this is from 1978. Keep that in mind. 1978, that's that's a long time ago. That's about, oh crap. I don't know math with, that's about 40 years ago. Oh my word. That's about 40 years ago. My goodness, I'm old. One second. Okay, that was from Christopher Reeve, 1978. I'm not gonna lie, the very first one I enjoyed, I loved it. The one thing that's a little bit better for the other one, we got Superman fighting the Deadly Three from Krypton. General Zod and his two henchmen. Well, henchman and henchwoman. It was a heck of a fight. I think that's one thing I like about two. It's not as good as one, but it was pretty good. I give you that. But I'm not done yet. Then we have the one from one with Brandon Roth. Forgot about him. Not like a Brandon Roth. I like the one with Superman Returns. That was good. But I'll go for the one that that really got all the attention. And that would be one with Henry Cavill. In my opinion, though, I don't think Henry Cavill has gotten a fair shake. Never got a decent chance. I love Man of Steel. I'm sorry, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Man of Steel. So it's like, oh, it's too dark. Do you expect sunshine and rainbows to be popping out his chest from the S symbol? Come on, this is Superman. And instead of saying like, he don't feel no pain. Oh, he felt pain. At least he felt pain, especially pain and all that. Not like physical pain. I think he suffered more pain, honestly. Don't be wrong, he did suffer some pain when he fought Zod, because Zod was as strong as him. Technically, Superman was stronger than Zod, but Zod was a more superior combat fighter than Superman. But it was one incredible drag out, knock him out fight. If you haven't seen Man of Steel, if you haven't seen Batman versus Superman, if you haven't seen Justice League, I recommend you see all of them. Henry Cavill, in my opinion, though, he never got a fair shot to at least, do one more movie that involves The Rock, Black Adam. They should at least did that there and let the people decide. But unfortunately, Zack Snyder said, no, not going to happen. Not Zack Snyder. Peter Gunn said, no, we're going to something different. The Snyderverse, I love the Snyderverse. I strongly believe one for the fact that he had a definite family. I think he could make Justice League. I'm not saying better than Avengers, but make him a good competitor against them, at least. At least that's what I think. And one more thing, one more side note. I have a friend of mine, my best friend from New York. Russ Donati, called out your name, buddy. Shout out to my best friend, Russ Donati. And my other friend, Juan de la Torre, but Russ Donati, he's a huge Michael Keaton fan, thinking like he's the best Batman in entertainment. And now I respect his opinion and all that stuff. I still have to go to Christian Bale, because he tells a complete story about Batman from the very beginnings to where he got trained to be a fighter and all that stuff. And hold on a sec. Gotta let my fiance know I'm live streaming. And like I said, Christian Bale turns out the complete Batman. Christian Bale is it. Plain and simple. Oh, just throughout the trilogy. The only people who question like did the end, he growls too much. Yeah, I get that, but overall, yeah, I enjoyed it overall. I think Robert Pattinson, who played the Batman, I enjoyed it. I was surprised. The Batmobile, I was digging it. Any man worth his salt would have been drooling over the Batmobile. It's a classic, like it's the ultimate muscle car. It wasn't a big outrageous. This is like a muscle car with some powerful oomph to it. I loved it. That Batmobile is sick, and I love it. They got Ben Affleck. For the Dark Knight Returns, Ben Affleck, I think, physically makes for an awesome Batman. But someone says there's one person who should have been the perfect Batman. I think he's like a martial artist as well as an actor. I forgot the man's name. I gotta find the person's name. If he's allowed to do some martial arts stunts and all that stuff instead of like CGI to death stuff, that'd been it. He would be like the ultimate Batman, period. But going back to Superman though, if I gotta pick like who I think is like the perfect Superman, who's like the all-time best, people that say it's Christopher Reeve. Well, I think the reason why people say that he's the first modern Superman, in the 20th century, the most modern Superman in the 20th century, at least at the time. And I get that, I respect that. Same thing with Michael Keaton. That, because no offense, I was so with Michael Keaton being Batman. I was not sold into Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry, Russ. I'm not sold with Michael Keaton being Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry. Like I said, Real who what type of person Bruce Wayne was, then you know what I'm talking about. You're talking to a Batman purist here. That's why. Going back to Superman, though, Henry Cavill, he portrayed a great Superman, no question about it. Don't get me wrong. You got other guys in between. You got Dean Cain. I forgot the guy's name from Smallville. Shame on me. And I used to watch that show a lot. I can't even forgot. I would say Peter Weller, but that's RoboCop. But Smallville, Dean Cain, Supergirl, the Superman there for Supergirl. They got David Coruscant, who Coruscant from I can't mess with the man's name. I feel bad. His name is David Coruscant. Yeah, Coruscant. Yeah, because that's interesting name. But without further ado, let's finish up with Superman here with Henry Cavill.
Why am I so different from them? Earth's sun is younger and brighter than Krypton's was. Your cells are drunk in its radiation, strengthening your muscles, your skin, your senses. Earth's gravity is weaker, yet its atmosphere is more nourishing. You've grown stronger here than I ever could have imagined.
The voice you hear, Russell Crowe as Jor-El. And I'm sorry, I don't know what anyone says. The Man of Steel was awesome. It is totally awesome. No question about it. It was totally awesome. But keep watching. Keep watching.
The only way to know how strong is to keep testing your limits.
Okay, it looks like he's leaping instead of flying. In the beginning, that's how people describe Superman. Leap tall buildings in a single bounce. In a way, that's what he's doing. But he's trying to fight against Earth's gravity. And Earth's gravity exerts hundreds of millions of newtons of force. And this guy's fighting against it, but just keep watching. You see how it turns out. Okay, you can see he struggles against Earth's gravity. It's not like, well, he's a fly like this. No, he struggles, and he struggles hard. But like Jor-El said, his body drinks up the radiation, the atmosphere is nourishing. So basically, this guy is like becoming super. Sounds corny, but he is. His DNA allows him to drink up the very environment that makes him that powerful. The guy's a walking nuclear battery. Well, walking solar battery to be exact. Apparently, he didn't get that flight the first time around, but he was discouraged. He remembered the words of his father, focus, and, well, you can see the result yourself.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun, Cal. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
That was cool. I'm gonna see like about 2 dozen times. It'll get tired. That was pretty cool. That was extremely cool. I love that. That was totally incredible. I love it. Now you get to see the new one, David Carr Sweats, when he flies. It's not long, but check it out. Yeah, that's all I can find for that one, though. Sorry about that. But I can show you something else, though. I can show you the trailer I've actually got. I got a copy of the trailer, and you guys see it for yourself. And I'll try to explain what's it about. Yep, here we go. Teaser trailer
for the new Superman, July 2025.
Okay, Superman got sent. I mean, he got dispatched and got dispatched violently. How bad we're talking? Check it out. He's wheezing. He's wheezing. Now keep in mind, he's one you can launch a whole army at and nothing's gonna harm him, but yet he got the brakes beaten off him, which means somebody close to his strength, or at least equal to his strength, did that type of damage to him. Keep watching. He is wheezing, rasping, like, if he's wheezing and all that, it's not because he was tired. Sounds like he's got some possible internal injuries, maybe a punctured lung, broken ribs. It's not good. The fact that he's like prone, like he barely moved, and he's bleeding in the face, not pretty sight. And he's spitting blood. That is not normal. You don't expect to see Superman spitting blood. That means somebody who's pretty much like has Superman's power beat the brakes off him. Okay, he whistled. For who? I think we all know who's he whistled for. Yep. Stuff is coming. Stuff is coming fast. Yep. That be Crypto. Crypto. Unfortunately, it's CGI. But it's okay, but they should have did a better job CGI and Crypto. Okay. Crypto is also from Krypton. And if anything, though, if Krypton had the same type of, like, I'm not saying he's like Superman in terms like similar. If he's from the same planet as Kal, guess what? He's going to get the same benefits as Kal. Meaning that if that dog soaks up the same type of radiation from the sun, survives the same environment that Kal Clark can survive, that means that dog will be extremely powerful. Translation: if you fight Crypto, you must be fighting Superman. That's how tough this dog is. In fact, the dog caused Superman a lot of pain jumping on him and all that. When a dog jumps on you, you're going to feel it. But when Crypto jumps on Superman, it's going to hurt bad. And we're talking about a badly hurt Superman, the pain's going to be a lot worse.
Stop! No! Crypto!
Yep, that side. The dog turns his head to the side. That means like something's wrong. He's like, normally the dog try to roughhouse against Superman, but when he knows that Superman can't, and turns his head sideways, he knew like something's wrong. He just knew something was wrong. But Crypto, like the Crypto we know in the comics, is a real good at being a dog. This dog's a bit crazy, rebellious. But the dog's not dumb. That's a little rebellious, a little rambunctious, and mischievous.
Take me home. Home. Crypto. Home.
Yep, there he goes. Okay, I have to admit, James Gunn got the right idea. Why should the Fortress of Solitude could be seen for the whole world to see? And if you think about it, I'm surprised they haven't thought about that sooner. When Superman's not around, the base should be hidden away from prying eyes. Like, say, whether it be Superman, Krypto, or anybody else authorized to be around this Fortress of Solitude, that's what pops up. It makes sense. I like that idea. I like it. I really do. So score one for James Gunn. But you know, James Gunn did a fantastic job with Guardian of the Galaxy. I kind of feel bad that we kind of losing him there. But the fact that he's gonna hopefully he does good with Superman. I hope he does good. But the fact what he does with Fortress of Solitude, it's pretty cool. Let's continue. That's wild. Oh wow. Okay. Apparently, Superman programmed the Fortress to recognize Krypto's bark, which means when Krypto bark, the door opens for him, which is great. Guess what's behind that door? Superman emblem, of course.
Superman!
Okay, if I remember correctly, if I heard this correctly, though, the robots are speaking Kryptonian, but in no Kal-El. They say something in Kryptonian Kal-El. So like probably thinking, what happened to Kal-El? What's wrong with Kal-El? Kal-El, yeah, Kal-El, Kale, Kal. But they are super robots, and they see Superman in pain and hurting, and they know how to help him.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
For a robot, sounds like a teenage girl. Wild.
14 fractured bones.
Damage.
14 fractured bone, yeah. Whoever he fought, if I'm correct from the other trailer, you got the guy in black. Some people say it's Ultraman. Some people say it's a Superman clone. Somehow, I don't know how Lex Luthor got the DNA clone from Superman, but he made a Superman clone, to beat the brakes off of Superman and send him flying. But now, fortunately for Superman, he's the fortunate Solitude. Now he's going to get the help he needs.
To bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
Okay, you heard that? Lungs. That's why he's wheezing. Because I know he got his lung punctured and definitely injured. No question about it.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
Try this one more time.
Trailer for the new Superman.
Here we go. Sorry about that, folks, for that interruption.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever.
He's number 4.
Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
Yeah, program with the same mentality as a teenage girl. How crazy is that?
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
Okay, lungs, like I said, wheezing. I won't be surprised if his lungs got suffered some internal injury, maybe a rib puncture lungs. That's why he's gasping and wheezing so horribly.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time. Level 4? 292 times Saharan Prime, please, one.
So I imagine like over 200 times the recommended amount of rays he get from the sun itself. Especially he's focused to like almost like a laser on Superman, a sun laser, so to speak. Okay, keep in mind. People say, why so much scream his tongue? Okay, understand something, folks. He's injured. You heard the injuries. 14 fractured bones, injuries to kidney, bladder, lungs. So the good news, the sun's gonna help him heal, but during the healing process, he's gonna experience a lot of pain and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck bad. Just like we feel some pain when we heal, he's no different. And that's where people feel the connections like, okay, he suffered like we do. Yep. James Gunn. The scene where he saves that young girl. This Lex Luthor, the last one who faced against Henry Cavill, the last Lex Luthor, I can't take seriously. This one here, I have no choice but to take him seriously. This guy looks, though he's young, he looks scary and sinister. Yes, that's the Lex Luthor we've been waiting for forever.
He's back.
And there's this kaiju fighting Superman. If I heard correctly, though, this kaiju got released from Superman's displays for the Fortress of Solitude somehow. That's Hawk Girl. The Kent Farm. Jonathan Kent. Clark Kent. Okay, you notice that he is like head and shoulders above everybody else. He's not like gigantic, but he's taller than the average person. Which works. It does work. Him and Lois having a moment while the rest of the superheroes are fighting this giant monster, whatever the heck it is. Clark and Lois getting on. Surprise. Not. Lois Lane in Daily Planet. Kid crying out for Superman. Lex Luthor with a gun, and I won't be surprised there's a kryptonite bullet in it. Now, if I heard correctly, though, he punched out his little foxy prison, but I think it's called a pocket universe, if I heard correctly. That is Mr. Terrific. Yeah, no, I'm confused too. Now, Hawkgirl you heard of, but Mr. Terrific you haven't heard of. Let me see if I can help you with that one here. Let's see. TV show? Okay, that Mr. Terrific, no. Nope. Now, this is the other Mr. Terrific. Say TV show? No. Try to find the one with DC Comics. Oh, here we go. Mr. Terrific, DC Comics. Here we go. Mr. Terrific, Michael Holt. Basically, he's supposed to be a real intelligent human being, pretty much the same intelligence as Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne is no dummy, but this guy's been more intelligent. Here's some of the abilities for Mr. Terrific. His ability is genius level intellect, proficient scientist, engineer, physician, use of T-squared, T-spheres, invisibility to technology, skill athlete, and martial arts. Okay, interesting. So I'm not going to try to explain who is in one sitting because it would take too long. I gotta go to bed soon. So to Mr. Terrific, so here's your link to who Mr. Terrific is. Hold it. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, pay attention here, folks. This person right here, this is the one for probably said Superman flying way up to the fortress of solitude, hurting and bleeding. So whoever this one is, gotta be the clone taking on Superman and winning. Hold it. That's Metamorpho. Yeah. Like I said, and they try to make Metamorpho very creepy looking. Congratulations, it worked. Whew, like I said, like you guys have a lot of questions. Who's Metamorpho? Who's Mr. Terrific? But trust me, I say go to Wikipedia and start asking questions there, and you get a lot of answers like you wouldn't believe. This is probably number 4 if it got destroyed in the Fortress of Solitude. That's Guy Gardner, one of the Green Lanterns. He's probably the most disliked Green Lantern because the guy's a total jerk. Hal Jordan and John Stewart don't like him because he's such a jerk. Lex Luthor again. Looks like he went through rounds with somebody and lost. Superman Lois. Surprise, surprise. Now, do I wish to Superman success? Yes, I do, believe it or not. I wish to Superman a lot of success. Do I still wish Henry Cavill was in it? Yes. I don't think Henry Cavill got a fair shake. There's not me dissing David Corman sweat and nothing like that. No, it's not. But like, I like it. I hope it does succeed. You know, I hope it does. Because DC need a good win. It really does. Other than that, folks, I gotta wrap this up right now. Most likely, I'm thinking about tomorrow. I might do one more quick live stream. I'm gonna talk about WrestleMania and who's on the card. So I'll probably do this around tomorrow about same time. So if you're around tomorrow at midnight and we talk about wrestling, let's talk wrestling. Special WrestleMania. This should be good. So until then, folks, I want to thank you for being my ride and dies. We're over like 5,000, but I try to push this thing between like I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to go to 8,000 subscribers for this month is over. It's gonna be a hard thing to do, but I'm gonna give it a shot. But until then, folks, take care.